Hey everybody, Rose Matter here. Welcome to part 1 of Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 4, Himatsubushi. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. So I was corrected in the last episode. This one is not going to be the one where we're playing as Shion. That will be Chapter 5, which is the first of the answer arcs. This one is the last question arc, and we'll be focusing on Rika, and we will also be playing as a new character. So thank you for clearing that up for me. Also, I just want to let you guys know right off the bat, unfortunately I will not have an episode of Higurashi out next Friday, which will be the 27th, because work is insane around Christmas time. It's our busiest time of the year, so I'm basically pulling double shifts, so I'm not going to have any time to record until after Christmas. So there will be an episode January 3rd, but unfortunately next week there will be no episode, so I just want to let you guys know that right now. Hopefully you understand. But with that out of the way, let's get into this. You guys have said this is a very good chapter as well, and it will definitely be interesting playing as someone who's not Keiichi. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, as always. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright. Himatsubushi, for you, the final mystery. Time-killing chapter. I now entrust you with all the mysteries hidden within Higurashi When They Cry. However comical it may be, if you have reached any conjecture, then you have passed. This final novel is a meager reward for you. Conjecture is impossible. You have the right to reject this story. I feel bad. It's like the guy who created this is just like, is a time-killing chapter. It's almost like he's just like, I know the story behind you guys have said, where it's basically he realized, I think, that there was a lot of things he needed to wrap up. So he basically put this in as just like a final chapter. Like this wasn't even supposed to be a chapter, but he just basically like, all right, let's put this out there to kind of clear some things up. So anyway, with that said, I mean, I'm always down for like learning new things, but I'm also very excited to get to the answer arc because damn it, I need some answers to this story. Who is the criminal, you ask? Don't we search for them in the story? Who is the criminal, you ask? Do you even know what the criminal did? Who is the criminal? Who is the criminal who will kill me now? Midsummer, 1985. Oh boy, wow, right off the bat, we are in a completely new area. I had misread the time and ended up arriving too early. The schedule board flipped with a series of clacks. My flight to Sapporo was still a bit later on. I still had over an hour before boarding. Well, I might as well close my eyes for a bit on that bench over there then. I came here directly from work, so maybe the fatigue from that was making me sleepy. Finding a suitable bench, I put my luggage on the seat next to me and settled down. Oh, okay, Akasaka, which hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Yeah, it's gonna be really weird playing as someone who is not Keiichi. I sighed like an old man. I had hoped to stay young forever, but had become splendidly middle-aged. And we're playing a middle-aged person at that. Quite a difference from the, very emotional, reactionary teenage boy, Keiichi. I'm guessing he's going to be a little bit more kind of subdued and a little bit more controlled in his emotions. Apparently, the rumor that even people in their latter half of their 20s experience a decline in their physical strength wasn't a lie. Okay, wait, what? Don't tell me this guy is not in his... So he's in the later half of his 20s, and he's calling himself middle-aged. I feel personally attacked right now. It had been mind-numbingly busy at work lately, so I rarely had any time to myself. This might have been the first time I'd been able to enjoy a journey alone like this since I was a student. The reason behind this trip was to meet with an old friend. It was a bit strange to call him an old friend. In fact, it might be better to call him a bad one. After retiring a couple of years ago, he moved to Sapporo, his mother's hometown. His mother passed away soon after, and he was now peacefully enjoying his second lease on life. His name was... Kurado Oishi. He was a former detective from the primary investigation unit at the station in Okonomiya XX Prefecture. Well, I'm guessing... Maybe he is middle-aged in that case, because Oishi, it's like, it'd be very weird for someone who's in their, like, late 20s to be friends, quote-unquote, with someone he's, like, who looks like he's in his 50s. To be honest, the only direct contact we ever had didn't last more than 3 days. After that, we exchanged New Year's cards, but never met again. so this would be the first time meeting him in 7 years. In other words, we met 7 years ago, in 1978. There was something I just had to ask, to talk to him about, concerning that time, to explain that it was impossible not to recall the incident that happened back then. That kidnapping, the details and resolution of which were resigned to darkness. Also, it was impossible not to recall a certain mysterious girl. My name is Mamoru Akasaka. It was a year that had been strangely hot, even though it was only June. Early summer 1978. Oh boy, we're going back here.
先生、さようなら。
はい、さようなら。車に気をつけるんですよ。お友達の家に寄り道なんかしないように。明日の教科書の準備は必ず寝る前にしておくんですよ。
Clatter, clatter, clatter. The lively sounds of children running towards the hallway.
でさ、つってんだぜ。
そんなの俺持ってるわよ。いらねえよ。
The unique high-pitched voice of youth. The energetic shrill of the cicadas went completely unheard by their ears. Children returning home from school split off one by one from their groups of friends as they went through intersections in the residential area. Even though there were several of them in a group as they left the school, as they got closer to their homes, their numbers dwindled. That's why the fewer friends you were walking home with acted as an indicator that you were that much closer to your destination.
じゃあな、会うわよ。
また明日ね。
He finally parted ways with his last friend. A van was parked at a bend in the road. The window was open, the sound of the radio leaking outside. It must have been the news or something.
たため、道路交通法違反、公務執行妨害で3名を逮捕しました。一連のひなみざわダム建設反対をめぐる運動は、先月の機動隊との流血事件を境に過激化の一途をたどっており、
Alright, so we're going more into the Hinimizawa Dam project.
警察では過激な活動家による次の事件を警戒しています。先週も建設省庁舎前での犬飼建設大臣への直訴事件があったばかりで、
At that moment, a man's face peeked out suddenly from the window of the van. His behavior was a little different than that of a man looking around to see if there were any incoming traffic before he opened the door of his vehicle. His eyes meeting suddenly with the unfamiliar man, the boy panicked slightly. Oh no, is this the kidnapping?
ウグイス OK。
Uh-oh. Oh, that bad music right off the bat. Wasn't expecting this so early.
ひばり OK。前後2ブロック確保した。いいぞ。
The man in the passenger seat whispered quietly. Nodding in acknowledgement, the man opened the door and stood before the boy. Oh boy. Oh no.
君、犬飼俊樹君？
While asking that, the man peered at the boy's name tag. Oh, shoot. Is that they're just talking about, is that the construction guy? That's his son, I'm guessing. They're kidnapping him? Toshiki Inugai? Inugai? Oh, he literally just said his name, sorry. The name was written plainly there. The phone rang for a third time. If he reached out, he could easily pick up the receiver. However, he was concerned that if he picked it up before it had even finished ringing once, whoever was on the other end of the line would think him a fairly cheap person. That's why he normally never picked up the phone until the third ring. I do the same thing. It's like, don't want to seem desperate. Even he thought it was a worthless habit. However, his thinking that there isn't much meaning in waiting for just 3 rings, wouldn't waiting for 5 be all right, was very much a reality. His mind filled with such trifling thoughts, he picked up the phone after the third ring had finished, its reverb dampened by his action.
はい。もしもし。もしもし。
He knew that sometimes due to a malfunction at the switchboard, calls didn't connect well. At those times, it was best to hang up and let the person on the other end call again. Thinking that, the moment he began to hang up the phone, he sensed that he was definitely connected after all. He felt the presence of the person on the other end of the line, keeping silent.
もしもし。
There was no way they didn't hear his question. What was the meaning of this? It wasn't like he didn't know that people could use silent calls to harass others. However, he'd never received a call like that until today. Maybe he was just lucky before, but he didn't believe that he would receive such a call on this phone. There were no direct calls to or from this line. Everything had to go through an operator. Therefore, there was absolutely no way the call would be connected unless it was verified that there was someone else on the other end of the line. That's why he didn't understand how to deal with the silent call, and instead settled into confusion.
あんた、誰だか知らないが、用がないなら切るよ。また、かけ直してください。
Intending that to be a parting line, he made to slam down the receiver. It was at that moment the person on the other end spoke for the first time.
あなたが名乗ってくれないから困ってんですよ。あんたが犬飼大臣じゃないなら、さっさと電話を切ってください。
Okay, so he is the, I'm pretty sure he is the construction minister. He couldn't help but be surprised by the extremely strange voice on the other end of the line. Was there a human alive who could speak with this hoarse and metallic voice? No, this was a voice he had heard somewhere before. That was the kind of voice that was on those lowbrow documentaries that they'd use when they wanted to hide the identity of a speaker, wasn't it? The voice he was hearing over the line was exactly like that.
あんた、誰？
だから、それはこっちが聞いてるんですよ。あんた、犬飼大臣じゃないの？
He... Oh god, I'm gonna have to learn how to say his name. Inugai hesitated to answer. Unable to discern the intent of the suspicious phone call, he had a vague feeling that something was off. He thought about hanging up the phone and asking the operator who initiated the call. However, he forced himself to restrain that urge, and for the time being chose to state his name and listen.
そうです。犬飼です。名乗りましたよ。だから、あんたも名乗ってくださいよ。
私の名前なんてどうでもいいんです。まず、あなたがどういう立場に置かれているか、それを認識するところから始めましょう。あなたは今、自分の席で電話をしていますね。では、あなたの席の右側の一番下の引き出しを開けてみてください。
The lowest drawer to the right of the minister's chair. There was a lock on it, not enough to function as a safe, but nevertheless it was a drawer that contained some valuable things. That's why Inugai thought the person wanted some of the important information contained within that drawer.
すまんが、開けるつもりはないよ。自分の名前も名乗れんやつの言いなりになる言われはない。
引き出しを開けてくれないなら、この電話を切ります。きっと、後悔することになりますよ。まずは引き出しを開けてから考えてもいいんじゃないですか?
Inugai didn't like following orders from the suspicious person one bit. However, he was concerned about what the man said about regretting it, so he decided to open the drawer. He took the small key he kept stowed in his wallet and unlocked the drawer. His hand stopped right before he opened it. What if there was a bomb inside, and would explode if the drawer was opened? That delusion took hold of him. He quelled that instinct and opened it.
開けてくれましたか? そこにあるものが何かわかりますよね。
これはどういうことだ?
I'm wondering, is it his son's name tag, and they managed to like slip it into the drawer, so it's someone that's probably like working from the inside?
おい、
どういうことか説明する必要なんかないですよね。時間を差し上げますので、少しお考えください。また後ほどこちらから連絡いたします。それでは失礼。
おい、待て。もしもし、もしもし。
The call had already ended. That would not change no matter how much he yelled at it. Even still, Inugai, without realizing it, continued yelling into the receiver for a while. The drawer was still open. On top of the folders crammed into the drawer, it lay there. Yep, Toshiki Inugai, written in plain lettering on a grade schooler's name tag, just lying there, enshrined there completely out of place, as if it were cowering. Do you remember, Yuki? This picture. This is where I first proposed to you. Man, what a whiplash this is. Shouldn't be surprised. That brief moment before you nodded back. You probably wouldn't know just how much it seemed like an eternity to me. Yes, I would have never thought that amount of time could feel like an eternity. Compared to how long I had to wait for you to propose to me, it was... Haha. From the moment I met you until today, compared to the time I've spent since I was born, it might only be a brief period, but they were definitely precious, beautiful days that deserve to be called an eternity. That time continues even now. From now on, I wonder if it'll be a boy, or maybe a girl. Either one is fine. Boy or girl, either way it's living proof that we love each other. If it's a boy, we'll name it after you, Mamoru. If it's a girl, we'll put the Yuki from my name in hers. Thinking about names is so fun that in the end we still haven't decided yet. There's still time to puzzle over it. Not that long of time, actually. You see, Yuki, there's something I have to apologize for today. It's about your job. Sorry. It looks like an annoying bit of work has come up. In the worst case, I might not be able to be there for the delivery. It's fine. You have a very important job. What you do protects the way we live. Compared to you, it's nothing. Please, go ahead. When you return, I'll be waiting here with our child. Thank you. This was throwing me off because I'm like, it took me a second to realize I'm speaking as two different people. I'm like, also, I'm sorry. Please don't apologize. If you feel guilty about it, then you can just atone. If I atone that much, no matter how much money I have, it won't be enough. It's a joke. Now, go on. As I left the room, I bumped into an elderly man. It was Yuki's father. In other words, my father-in-law.
お父さん、邪魔する気はなかったからな。廊下で待たせてもらったよ。聞き耳を立てるつもりはなかったが。生きたまえ、雪江はああいう娘だ。何があっても自分が君の枷になることを望むまい。
私はこれまで雪江に様々な犠牲を強いてきました。出産という人生の節目にまで彼女に犠牲を強いることを恥じます。
君が本当にそう思うなら、仕事が終わったら雪江のために時間を割きなさい。君が仕事を投げ出して付き添ってくれるよりも、そうした方がきっと雪江も喜ぶだろう。
ありがとうございます。
君がとても大切な仕事をしていることは私もよく知っている。自分の仕事を誇りに思いなさい。雪江は君が見事難題を解決して凱旋するのを楽しみにしている。
はい。
I jumped into the taxi that was waiting outside. Compared to the time when I first got here, the numbers on the fare meter had grown considerably. It seemed that the modest time Yuki and I had spent together wasn't so modest from an objective point of view.
待たせてすみません。やってください。
いえいえ。では参りますよ。
The taxi jerked as it changed gears to accelerate, soon burying the hospital my wife was in behind a throng of buildings. If it was to end up as a really troublesome ordeal, I probably wouldn't be returning for quite some time. Call a rookie like me, and on top of that, one who's off duty. It seemed the section chief was calling for all hands on deck. The veteran upper brass gathering on an emergency basis happened occasionally. This was the first time, though, that I experienced everyone gathering together like this. Whatever was happening, there was no doubt it was going to be something novel. Right when my wife was about to give birth. If I wanted to spend the time to curse my misfortunes, I'd be here all day. Even the verdant, ginkgo trees lining the streets that always brightened my mood seemed to lack some of their usual luster. Eventually, the government office came into view. Briefly holding my breath, I let the feelings of tension course through my body once again. I had to remember the work I was doing was important, necessary, and difficult. I composed myself and sharpened my wit. Ready. The taxi stopped in front of the building. Oh, Kasumu got... Oh, boy. The police. The police station.
全員揃いました。赤坂君、ブラインドを下ろしてくれる？
The blinds were usually closed when they needed to use the projector, or if the discussion was going to contain some particularly disturbing content. The blinds closed with a satisfying sound, darkening the interior of the room. Immediately, the inside of the room was completely drained of the pleasant morning atmosphere, leaving behind only the cold illumination of the fluorescent lighting. After the supervisor ensured everyone was present, he nodded to the section chief once again. With everybody on the edge of their seats, the chief stood up solemnly and began to give his report.
推定48時間前、建設大臣の孫にあたる建設省幹部の子息が誘拐された模様です。
Okay, it's his grandson, not his son.
建設大臣は事態を穏便に済ませるため、警察へ通報せず要求に応じるものと思われます。
It seemed that approximately 48 hours earlier, the Minister of Construction's grandson and those of his senior staff members were kidnapped. The reason why it was phrased that way was because the person in question didn't admit it had happened.
大臣宅の通話を監視した結果、都外からと思われる不審な電話が数件確認されました。誘拐された子供は病気療養中となっているが、通院の形跡はなく、周辺での目撃例もなく、その他いくつかの理由から事件発生は間違いないものと断定しました。
Here they omitted the details that brought this incident to light. If you think about it a bit, that meant that before this incident happened, the minister's residence had been under surveillance already. I won't use the words spied upon. Of course, there wouldn't have been court approval for this, and would have been very hard to explain to ordinary citizens. However, it was quite an effective method to catch wind of the incidents like this before they got worse. I'd like for you to understand that dealing with these cases before they become a problem is the job of the Public Safety Division.
なぜ警察に通報せず要求を鵜呑みに？
大臣たる者が警察を信用できないってんだから。
犯人グループは誘拐初期に自分たちが大臣の生活をかなり高度に監視していることを警告し、その証拠を示した様子です。大臣が屈服し、
警察へ通報してもすぐにわかるぞって？
God, I'm so bad about skipping before they're finished talking. I'm so sorry.
大臣の近辺に内通者がいる可能性。
Several of the higher-ranked members who seem to have experience with this kind of thing let out deep sighs.
犯人グループの目的が要求にあるのか、事件そのものにあるのかは不明ですが、いずれにせよ、国益を脅かす事態に発展する可能性が極めて高い。
If their goal was to simply have their demands met for monetary gain, that would have been nice. However, if this was some politically motivated shakeup, things would get a lot more complicated.
被害者の協力がないということは、脅迫内容も要求も一切不明ということか。
本件は内通者の水準がかなり高いと思われるため、当室のみの極秘捜査とします。また本件は本日より最優先事項となり、これまでの通常業務を一時凍結して対応します。よろしいですね。
After that, the supervisor continued on, tactfully explaining our course of action. If this incident were to become public, it was possible that the minister's political life would be over. I'll spare you the explanation of how the rest of the dominoes would fall, but in the end, support in the Diet would decline, followed by a no-confidence vote in a snap election, and it might even expand communist influences. In other words, we want to handle this delicately.
川崎と佐伯は大臣宅子供宅の通話を24時間監視。大臣の動向を探れ。動きがあるたびに逐一報告せよ。残る各職員は担当団体ごとに本件との関連を調査。最近動きが不穏な特殊ラインは集中的にやれ。それから外国勢力も水を漏らすな。
I've experienced one or two unamicable situations before. This, however, was the first time I'd seen things get so hectic. Several sophisticated conversations were progressing without the involvement of a rookie like me. I didn't intend to be timid, but I couldn't hide my confusion at this unfamiliar situation.
では、柿内に行ってくれ。で、赤坂君は。
I snapped back to alertness upon hearing my name called.
はい。赤坂君は、大臣に陳情してきた環境保護団体関連を調査してくれ。
Okay, so he's going to be directly involved, so we're probably going to be seeing Mion at some point, Mion and Shion.
中でも、新聞でも騒ぎになってるひなみざわダム建設反対の団体をよく調査すること。
Like, I'm hoping it's not going to be too long before we get to see those characters again, because I miss them already. I miss not immediately starting the chapter and having Keiichi in the group, you know, be there.
住民団体の仕業とは到底思えないが、全ての可能性を潰していかなくてはならない。
わかりました。Hinimizawaダム。
直接現地へ行った方がいいだろう。現地県警で情報を取れ。
Oh, and this is going to be his whole thing about how he talked about Oishi, meeting up with Oishi. It's got to have something to do with this.
かなり過激な団体らしく、向こうの公安でもマークしてるらしいぞ。
わかりました。現地へ出向します。
奥さん、出産控えてるんだって？こんなタイミングで申し訳ないけど、協力頼むよ。時間がかけられないから、人海戦術で総当たりで行くしかないんだ。
ええ、わかってます。家内も自分の都合が私の仕事に触ることを嫌いますから。
すまん、ありがとう。それから川崎くん、佐伯くん、君たちの応援には。
I didn't want to take a business trip when my wife was about to give birth. Even if I was a little busy, as long as I was in Tokyo, I could head to the hospital right away. On assignment, though, that would be difficult. Even so, I knew the work I was doing was important, and fully understood that I was in no position to be so selfish. I'd have to make it up to my wife for having to be away at such an important time. My wife, Yuki, would probably forgive me with a smile. The only thing she could hate doing would be holding me back. My male ego, though, at least wished she would have tried to stop me. Sorry, Yuki. I don't mind if you always complain to our child that their father couldn't come to the hospital when they were born because he was too busy with work. The next day I took the bullet train to Nagoya, and from there transferred to the train to XX Prefecture. Getting to my destination by land took several hours. If I was traveling by air, in that amount of time I could probably get as far as Hong Kong. XX Prefecture was by no means close. I never sat in first class except for work, but whenever I did, the seat seemed stiff. Closing my eyes, I mentally reviewed the documents I read yesterday. The group under investigation, the Onigafuchi Defense Alliance. They were a group of residents opposed to the development proposed under the Hinimizawa Dam project. The Onigafuchi that sounds like some sort of like super villain group. The local protests were quite heated and were getting more radicalized. Even limited to what was written in the newspapers, there was bloodshed that occurred during a clash with riot police, interference with the dam construction, too many to count. The number of petitions, sit-ins, and direct appeals to the relevant organizations were innumerable. As an extension of that, there was a direct appeal to the Minister of Construction the other day.
これがそもそも今回この団体を調査することになったゆえんだ。
The land that they lived on was going to be submerged, so it was no wonder they would go into a frenzy over it. Even given that, though, could they really be capable of doing something like kidnapping the Minister of Construction's grandson in order to halt the project? Well, knowing Mion and her family, that is definitely not outside the possibility. From my take on it, I had serious doubts. This kidnapping plot was extremely sophisticated and complicated enough that it was believed there was some political backing. Well, Mion's family is everywhere, right? So, like, doesn't she have her father, or like she has some family member that's pretty high up in politics, from what I remember? This wasn't something that could be pulled off by some group of local protesters. Well, just like the chief said, the plan was to eliminate all possibilities. While I'm in the XX Police's reference room taking my time investigating, the higher-ups in Tokyo would probably solve the case, without my involvement entirely. Even if that were true, I couldn't regret being away from Tokyo while my wife was ready to give birth. This was work. There was really nothing that I could do. Ding dong. The announcement that we would be arriving at our destination soon snapped me back to wakefulness. Gogoria XX Prefecture, Public Safety Division.
Onigafuchi 死守同盟ですか？
ええ、地元ではかなり賑わせているようです。
Prefectural Public Safety Department already had the documents and a cup of tea ready and waiting for me.
早い話がダム反対の住民運動なんですが、事実上水没地域の住民すべてが決起したと言っていいでしょうね。死守なんて古風な言い方が示す通り、相当の決意と覚悟を持った連中です。そこら辺の温和な住民団体とは一線を画すと思っていただいた方がいいですね。
The stack of papers they had prepared for me in the document room was by no means thin.
発足当初はごくごく平均的な住民運動だったんです。それがいつだかの流血事件を境に急にヒートアップしまして、今では暴力主義団体かそれに準じるくらいの過激な勢力に成長したと言えますね。
Violent organizations usually indicate ones that enforce their own ideology without regards to the democratic process. Breaking that down, many of those organizations held extreme left revolutionary ideologies. Considering that, I couldn't help but be surprised that a citizens group would end up going this far. Radical citizens movements happen occasionally. It seemed, however, that this group was nothing as trifling as that. It seemed that I would have to reconsider exactly what this Onigafuchi Defense Alliance was.
鬼ヶ淵死守同盟が要求。つまりダム計画の撤回を求めるために行いうる活動範囲はどの程度でしょうか。
The kidnapping of the minister's grandson was classified. That meant, of course, I couldn't tell the XX prefectural department about it either.
ご存知の通り、先週あった犬飼建設大臣への直訴事件では逮捕者も出ています。危険性は十分にありますね。
I skimmed over the list of the criminal records related to the Onigafuchi Defense Alliance recorded in the documents. The contents were all violent, not giving me the barest hint of a feeling that these people were trying to uphold the law.
具体的に教えていただけますか。
The chief opened up a manila envelope, fished out several unorganized sheets, and spread them out on the desk.
建設現場への襲撃事件が最も多かったですね。初期の頃、電源コードの切断や錠前の鍵穴に石を詰める、投石による事務所の窓ガラス割り等の軽犯罪が頻発していました。
Of course, what really happened first were things like demonstrations, sit-ins, and distribution of pamphlets, lively but democratic forms of protest. However, then the demonstrators and police clashed, which started a riot, leading to numerous injuries and arrests. It was from then on that the Onigafuchi Defense Alliance, like their name implies, began to take on a more demonic form of resistance.
襲撃が度重なれば地元警察による警備強化がなされるのでは。
それは警戒はしたでしょうね。でもあちらは地元ですから、闇に乗じて忍び込まれたらお手上げでしょう。
You might as well label the entire map of Hinimizawa village around the dam construction site enemy territory. No matter how alert the police were, the locals would just show them exactly how easy it was to sneak around.
警察が警備を固めてからは、むしろ挑発されたように過激化が進みました。ほら、この辺りからだいぶヒートアップしてるのがお分かりになります？
事務所の放火、建設重機の破壊工作。破壊？まさか爆弾でも？
いや、まさか。連中ですね。タンクに角砂糖を放り込むんですよ。あれやられたらエンジン焦げついちゃいますから。
Even in Japan, it seemed there had been people doing that to vehicles of occupying forces right after the war. Compared to misdemeanors like breaking windows, it was extremely violent and aggressive.
そこまでやられたら地元警察の面目は丸つぶれですね。
放火はさすがにですね。それで地元警察が24時間体制の人員を大幅に増員しまして、それで建設現場への襲撃は一段落したようです。
He used the words quieted down, but that was still smack dab in the middle of the list of crimes.
で、連中ですね。現場への直接攻撃が難しくなったと知ったら、今度は個人攻撃に切り替えました。最初に狙われたのが工事事務所の現場作業者でした。
After that, there was silence. What was being described to me was a guerrilla war fought in the jungle. Threats and violence against the workers. Harsh words and harsher rocks were thrown.
かなりの告訴がされているのに逮捕者があまり出ていませんね。
そりゃそうです。第一、目撃者なんかいないんですから。それどころか現行犯だったにしたってアリバイがポンポンポンとできちゃうんです。
それはどういうことですか？
例えばですね、あなたがひなみ沢で歩いていて、ある男にナイフで刺されたとします。あなたは相手をよく覚えていて、 名前も住所も特定できてるとします。ただしナイフには指紋がなく物的証拠だけがない。まあありがちな傷害事件だと思うでしょ。でもひなみ沢じゃ完全犯罪なんです。
As he's saying, because like everybody is going to back up the person and provide alibis for them, because that's the whole thing about Hinimizawa is everybody bands together. Everybody is the entire village. They're all in on it. To protect the man who is the perpetrator, they'll get their story straight and prepare an alibi. To that end, they'll probably even forge some evidence.
裁判にもつれ込ますほかないわけですが、何しろ物的証拠はない上、犯人を隠匿する証言だけは後から増えていく。検察も書類送検には二の足を踏むわけです。殺人ならいざ知らず、投石で額を切った、殴られてあざができた程度だと、仮に犯人を特定できたとしても嫌疑不十分で送検されないことがほとんどです。
Every case is without a doubt perpetrated by someone in Hinimizawa, but they can't identify who. Even if they could figure out who it is, they're unable to obtain enough circumstantial evidence through due process. The villagers were all extremely well informed about this, and so the malicious, vicious, and tenacious personal attacks continued.
被害者はそれでは納得できないでしょう。検察審査会に再審請求を出さないのですか？
それはですね、審査員たちがみんな厄介ごとに巻き込まれたくないと思っているからですよ。ひなみ沢関係のトラブルには首を突っ込みたがらないんです。
The inquest committee is comprised of a random selection of local residents. In the event the prosecutor fails to get a conviction, they have the power to order a retrial. It's a system designed to assert the will of the people on the actions of expert prosecutors in the legal world. In this case, however, being composed of local residents has backfired.
首を突っ込みたがらない。それはなぜです？
なんて説明すればいいんでしょう。恐れられているって言えばいいのかな。
Of being demoned away or being killed, right? Because it's like they're seen as an enemy of Hinimizawa.
あそこはね、少し特殊なんです。
特殊？何か政治的なバックボーンが存在するということですか？
いえ、そういうのとは少し違うというか、まあ怖がられていると思ってください。この辺りは口では少し説明しにくいんです。ああ、そうだ。わかりやすいのがありました。
Wiping his forehead with a handkerchief, he opened a file labeled as a list of members of the Onigafuchi Defense Alliance.
鬼ヶ淵死守同盟の勢力にはですね、近隣の町々に強い影響力を持つ人間が多々おりまして。
Ah, okay, so they didn't want to get on like the Sonozakis or the Furidays or what was the third one? Oh, who's the third member of the three families? Crap, I can't remember.
この辺をご覧いただけますか？
I looked. What I saw startled me. Prefectural and municipal assembly members, staff members of the Chamber of Commerce, an executive of a business association, an executive of a town council association, and a PTA liaison. There were more than a few people with a lot of say both locally and in the neighboring regions.
この界隈では、ひなみ沢のダム反対運動は皆静観しているのが普通なんです。ダムを肯定するような発言をすると、どこでどう巡って不利益を被るかわからない。何しろ近隣の町の喉元はひなみ沢出身の人間が抑えていますからね。
検察審査員のリストは非公開でしょう。報復がされないように何らかの措置が取られているはずでは。
一応非公開でプライバシーは守られてますがね。それを管理してるのは沖宮市役所の人間、つまり地元の人間なんです。守秘義務があるとはいえ、やはり人間のつながりは分かりませんからね。ひなみ沢の人間はそのあたりのつながりがことのほか強固ですから。
When you consider the obligations and duties people have to the region, the web of information thereby formed is nothing to scoff at. It's not uncommon for housewives in the neighborhood to know which kid from which house is what grade in which school, what subjects they're good at and what vegetables they hate, among other things.
それにほら、ひなみ沢と遅延の深い暴力団組織がありましてね。これが今回の騒動に全面バックアップしてるらしいんです。こちらが出てくるのが一番効いてるみたいですね。
暴力団？
Man, I'm really hoping that we have a run-in with Mion.
ダムの建設反対で 住民と一致?
That's what it seems to be leading up to, but then they say about how this episode is dedicated to Rika, but I'm like, when are we gonna see Rika? Are we gonna see them at all?
どういう利害が一致するのか読み難いですね。
それは難しいことじゃないです。実はですね、この暴力団の組長がですね、hinamizawa村の出身なんです。村の重鎮の一人の婿養子にあたりまして。
Exactly what was this Hinimizawa? I had thought it was some desolate rustic village. However, for some reason they exerted a strong influence on the surrounding areas and had a strong sense of unity. They would protect their village by any means necessary, even if that meant resorting to violence. The chief had said that they were afraid because there were numerous influential people living there. But somehow I got the feeling they were afraid of the village itself. There was something clearly different from what I had read in the documents in Tokyo. This was no simple residential protest against the dam. For some reason, an uneasy feeling began to nestle itself at the back of my mind. I chose the most basic way to ask my question. In other words, I directly asked what I wanted to know.
室長、これは例えば仮の話ですが。
はい。
例えばその鬼ヶ淵主導名がダム計画を頓挫させるため、例えば要人を脅迫するようなことは考えられますか?
The chief replied immediately.
あり得るでしょう。事実、彼らは市役所や県庁、建設省の工事事務所にも押しかけ、恫喝まがいのことをしていますし、工事関係者の家族が不審者につけ回されたという事件も起こっています。
Well, that would make sense. To halt progress on the dam, they raided the construction site, destroying heavy machinery and lighting the construction office on fire. They didn't have any qualms about doing that. Threats and violence against people related to the dam would probably be no problem. But that was it. Even your everyday hoodlum could use threats and violence. However, this time it was the kidnapping of the minister's grandson, an abnormally high-level crime. Not only was pulling off the kidnapping difficult in the first place, but so was maneuvering to have the minister surrender to their demands immediately. There was no way this was the work of amateurs. Did these people have the power to enact this large of a crime? That was the heart of the matter. Was the Onigafuchi Defense Alliance an organization capable of pulling this off? In order to ask that question once again, I chose the most basic method.
例えば政府要人の関係者を誘拐して脅迫なんてことがあり得ると思いますか?
There's no way they could pull off something that big. That was the answer I most hoped for. If it was that answer, my work was as good as halfway done. I might be able to get back in time for my wife to give birth. That was how it was supposed to be. The chief, without a hint of hesitation, replied.
やるかもしれません。そこの知れない連中ですから。
Sorry, Yuki. It seemed like my work wouldn't end so simply after all.
おう、赤坂君か。ご苦労さん。担当地域での情報収集はどうですか？
順調です。これから現地警察の公安と接触できることになりましたので、東京の調査の方はどうですか？
他の職員も順調に調査を進めているよ。でも調べる団体が星の数だからね。そんなに悠長に時間もかけられないし。
There was no new developments at this time. No matter how suspicious the Onigafuchi Defense Alliance was, if they solved the case in Tokyo, my job was done. It looked like my wishful thinking wouldn't come to pass. Hanging up the phone, I let my gaze drift outside the window to the valley of unfamiliar buildings.
赤坂さん、今お貸しできる車が戻ってきました。ご案内しますので、こちらへどうぞ。
あ、すみません。
He showed me the elevator to the underground parking lot where a battered sedan was waiting for me. That the steering wheel kept drifting to the left was a little concerning, but it would be enough to get me around for a while. My destination was Shishibone City, XX Prefecture, an area under the construction of the Onigafuchi Defense Alliance. The Okonomiya police station was right on the front lines. Alright, so now we're gonna be getting into some familiar territory again. Like I said, hopefully we'll get to eventually see some familiar characters. I'm sure he's gonna have a run-in with Oishi at least sometime soon. But I'm like, what about everybody else? Okonomiya Police Station. Shishibone City was, as far as provincial cities went, rather behind the times. Okonomiya, recessed in the mountains, was even more remote. With little change between the seasons, all that was left was the tepid passage of time. It made for a rather drab town. There were no tourist attractions or local delicacies. Without even a strong regional industry, it was simply dull. Just looking at the monotonous and peaceful landscape, it was hard to catch a glimpse of the radical resistance of the Onigafuchi Defense Alliance. The atmosphere of boredom didn't hint of the Okonomiya police station being on the front lines of the dam conflict, nor of the numerous incidents that I'd heard about at the prefectural headquarters.
おはようございます。違反金の納付ですか？
いえ、公安部の本田屋さんにアポイントがあります。赤坂とお伝えください。
失礼しました。少々お待ちください。
The clerk, who thought I was here for a parking violation at first glance after fumbling with the unfamiliar extension number, told the person on the line they had a visitor.
どうもどうも。赤坂さんでいらっしゃいますか？縁のはるばるお疲れ様でした。こんな部屋で申し訳ありませんね。応接室を押さえてあったんですがね。議員さんが突然お越しになっちゃったんで追い出されちゃいまして。
I would hesitate to call where we were at a conference room, as it was very small and cluttered. The cramped space was packed with lockers. I had the impression it was more of a change room that doubled as one for smoking. Listening to his crude chortles, I didn't get much of a feeling that Hondaya, who was head of the local public safety division, was much of an intellectual. But I knew that in exchange he had both experience and absolute confidence in his instincts.
ご多忙中、突然お邪魔して申し訳ありませんでした。警視庁から参りました。赤坂と申します。よろしくお願いします。
公安部の本田屋です。よろしくよろしく。県警防隊の3階部長から協力を惜しむなと脅されておりますので。
防隊？県警の暴力団対策本部ですか？
うちじゃ鬼ヶ淵支所の連中は暴力団の延長に位置づけてますんでね。あれを善意の住民運動だなんてあんた、東城もいいとこですわ。
I said at the prefectural office, too, that the Onigafuchi Defense Alliance was linked to the local mob. If I recall correctly, the adopted son of someone influential was a lieutenant in that gang.
そりゃ逆。全然逆ですよ。暴力団の活動があって、それに住民団体が大義名分みたいにくっついていると、そういう風に考えてください。逆。
Hondaya was just about rolling with laughter. I don't like his laughter. It's kind of like Oishi's kind of grates on my nerves, but it's more because it feels like Oishi is mocking when he laughs. This was slightly different than the info given to me at the prefectural office, but somebody embedded locally would be more knowledgeable. While we were talking, occasionally some people who seemed to be detectives would come in and change. One of those individuals, noticing Hondaya's go-offs, came up to us. Hey, there he is. There's a familiar face. Oh. This music's kind of funky.
おお、クラちゃん。ちょうどよかった。クラちゃんも入ってよ。こちら、はるばる東京の警視庁からお見えになった赤坂警部。
This is some new music. I don't think I've ever heard this one before. It's nice to hear some new music now and then.
警部だなんて。まだまだ新米です。赤坂です。よろしくお願いします。
初々しいのがいいですね。採用は今年ですか？
I couldn't help but think I was being ridiculed, so I only responded with a forced smile. I could tell this new person was like Hondaya, the type who had confidence in their instincts and experience. I really didn't like those types of people.
赤坂さんにもご紹介します。こちらは刑事部の大石君。赤坂さんがお問い合わせの S 号の件なら彼が詳しいです。
Oh, there's the S file again. What is that, the Sonozaki file?
S 号
Oh, there's the...
園崎の S。S 号ってのはですね、園崎家が関連している件を示す、まあ、暗号みたいなもんなんです。
Sonozaki? Come to think of it, I remember when I was poring over the documents at headquarters, there were quite a few people with the last name Sonozaki popping up.
確か園崎氏は鬼ヶ淵死守同盟の役員でしたね。確か会計だったと思います。
The two of them were surprised when I rattled off what posts that Sonozaki held. After a moment, both of them erupted into laughter.
赤坂さんでしたっけ？あなたお勉強家さんですね。ひょっとして同盟の連中の主要人物全部暗記してるんじゃ？
暗記というほどではありませんが、一応鬼ヶ淵死守同盟の幹部リストは一読しました。
じゃあ会長と副会長は？
会長は現hinamizawa村村長の君吉喜一郎氏。副会長は町会神社部長の古出氏。
I'm trying to. It's still bugging me that I can't remember what the third family is. Is it Kimiyoshi? Is that the third? Because obviously Furude, Sonozaki, but I'm just like, oh, who is the last of the third families? I feel embarrassed that I've done 3 chapters and I don't remember.
会計が園崎を領して、会計監査は牧野氏。教頭部長が君吉義郎氏。広報部長が園崎貞夫氏。
I'm guessing it's gotta be Kimiyoshi.
赤坂さん、あなたなかなかやりますね。給料安いけどうちに来ません？うちに一番必要で一番いないタイプですよ。で、ちなみに園崎貞夫は青年部長なんです。惜しいですね。広報部長は園崎忠孝。
Feeling like I wasn't being complimented at all, I started settling into an uncomfortable mood. However, I was becoming more and more aware that I was the weakest link in this investigation, so I just had to bear with it. I didn't mean for that feeling to show up on my face, but the crafty detectives didn't let that slip by.
バカにしたつもりはないんです。詫びと言っちゃなんですが、なんでしたら村を実際にご案内しましょう。
For somebody with no feel in the area like me, it would be a great help. I couldn't have asked for more.
鬼ヶ淵死守同盟ってのは結局hinamizawa村の対外的な別称に過ぎません。村を知ることがあなたのお仕事の近道だと思いますよ。いかがです？
The residential movement, in other words, held influence over the whole region. So the leader of the movement was the leader of that influence. Just like that, the thought processes in the region would become the overall personality of the movement. Just like Oishi had said, in order to learn what they were really like, this regional force behind the damn protests, getting to know the village was the quickest way.
よろしくお願いします。
Nodding back without skipping a beat, Oishi laughed in satisfaction and stood up. If I took the information I learned at the prefectural office and from Hondaya to heart, my position was exposed, my personal safety was at risk. The opponent was an extremist group that had no qualms about using threats or violence against somebody. If my personal information was leaked, it wouldn't be hard to imagine I'd be in danger, whether on the job or not. Well, we know that this took place quite a while ago because he talks about how he hasn't seen Oishi for 9 years. This took place back in 1978, so as far as he's still alive, but hopefully nothing happened to his wife or anything. I'm hoping that something's not going to happen to him right at the end. You know, like with Keiichi, where Keiichi always dies. Hopefully this guy doesn't die, because, you know, he's got a wife, he's got a kid, I want to make sure he's safe. Thinking that, I felt a little nervous.
連中は顔覚えるの早いですからね。私と一緒にいるところを見られると多分月並みですがね。こいつを身につけておいてください。
Oishi handed me an incredibly suspicious disguise comprised of a baseball cap, sunglasses, and a mask. I didn't want to get all hot and stuffy, but Oishi's warning was probably right on the money. Considering that, I put them on with appreciation. I looked so suspicious that Oishi had to smile wryly.
どこまで話しましたかね。
御三家という旧家が村を支配しているというところまでです。
The Onigafuchi Defense Alliance was the same as the village of Hinimizawa itself, meaning there was a direct correlation between being an executive in the alliance and being a leader in the village, as Hyundai had told me a short time ago. If the village was ruled by 3 ancient families, then it would mean the Onigafuchi Defense Alliance was ruled by those same 3 families.
県警の資料には何て書いてありました？死守同盟のリーダー格とかそういうことについて。
The documents I was using were classified. If I responded to Oishi's question, it'd be a breach of security. However, most likely, this man, I judged, was more well versed in the situation than any of the documents of the prefectural police department, so I decided to answer him.
同盟の会長は現村長の君吉喜一郎と。
Oishi, upon hearing that, let out a small chuckle. For him to ask like that, and to laugh at the answer as it was recorded in the documents, meant that wasn't the case in reality.
では、君吉氏以外の影の人物がいると県警の持つ、いや、一般的な情報とは異なり。
君吉のじいさんなんてただのお飾りですよ。そもそもこの村じゃ村長なんてポスト自体も形式だけなんです。
つまり同盟も村も本当の意味で支配している別の存在がいる。それが先ほどおっしゃられていた御三家という存在ですか。
まあそのあたりはこれからご説明します。
All of a sudden, with a thunk, the car suddenly lurched. The paved road had given to a gravel one. At the same time, the scenery outside the window changed. The Hinimizawa Dam project must be withdrawn. Overthrow the shameless puppet of a governor. The dam will submerge the natural beauty of Hinimizawa. Protect the village from the unethical dam. Fear the wrath of Oyashiro-sama's curse. Demolish the dam. Those involved must go away. The construction office must respond. The construction office manager must negotiate with us. Signs and banners crowded the roadside. Even reading the brush-scrawled words were daunting. It was as though where the road just changed was a border with a different country. At that moment, I was startled by the car suddenly braking. Looking ahead, a barricade had been erected. About 5 or 6 protesters wearing masks and helmets to hide their faces were blocking the road, yelling at us angrily to stop.
これは何ですか？検問？
はあ？懲りない連中だな。
Oishi snorted as he rolled down the window and leaned out.
おいおいおい、あんたらダメだよ、こんなとこで道を塞いじゃ。
As Oishi glared at them with a malicious laugh, they visibly faltered.
道、あ、それじゃ通れないでしょ。
Who would have thought it was Oishi's car? That panic thought seemed to make them lose their presence of mind.
大石刑事の車と分かってればこんなご無礼はしなかったんですがね。大石刑事、いつもの車はどうされました？車検ですか？
そんなところです。台車ってのはどうにも馴染みませんね。
Judging from their brief conversation, I could guess they were familiar with the license plate of the car Oishi normally used. In other words, if they knew the car belonged to the police, they would have hidden the barricade. What they were doing was obviously obstruction of traffic. A blatant crime.
そっちの怪しい男は誰です？あんた、顔を見せてくれませんか？
The man glared at me menacingly. Wearing a mask and sunglasses made me look particularly dubious. Would not showing my face get me into some unnecessary trouble? I turned to Oishi to see what I should do.
彼の顔は勘弁してあげてください。まだまだ新米でシャイなんですからね。
不審な輩じゃないか確認しようってだけです。最近のひなみさんは物騒ですからね。
あんたのうち鏡歪んでるのと違います？あんたのその面の方がよっぽど不審ですよ。な
The men and Oishi continued to talk like that, feigning smiles at one another. However, from the beginning to the end, I couldn't get over the feeling I was sitting on a powder keg.
ゴミの不法投棄車両まだ減らないんですか。オタクたちも本当に朝晩大変ですね。
警察の方にもご理解とご協力をいただけて助かりますよ。
During that conversation, the barricade was moved, leaving a gap wide enough for a single car to get through. Oishi lightly honked the horn once and began to roll the car forward. I could see the men's antagonistic glares at the back of the car in the rearview mirror.
何ですかさっきのは。勝手に行動を封殺するなんて。
もちろん犯罪ですよ。目くじら立てても始まりませんがね。連中の主張じゃですね、村内に不法投棄をするトラックが出没するって言うんです。それを封じ込めるために不審車両を検問してるって話だそうで。
不法投棄？参拝を勝手に捨てようとする悪徳業者のことですか？
警察が何の手も打たないから自分たちで自衛するっていう論法でしてね。まあ参拝なんて話はどうせ自演だからどうでもいいんですがね。
自演？
連中うまい作戦なんですよ。ダム現場にですね、工事妨害のために参拝ゴミを自分たちでばらまいてるんです。で、それを悪徳業者のせいってことにして臨検を設置すると。それで工事車両をいちいち足止めしてチクチクと妨害してるってわけなんです。
鬼ヶ淵死守同盟の抵抗運動の一つというわけですね。
多分今の検問でこの車のナンバーが割れましたからね。もうこの先には一切検問の真似事はないと思います。連中も私を怒らせると得をしないことだけはよね。
I was gonna say, they're talking about, this chapter being Rika's, but this seems like it's Oishi's chapter. It's very focused on him. I want to know more about him. I'm still of the belief maybe he's... There's definitely something sinister about him with the whole thing. It's like every time he shows up in the story, that's when things really seem to start popping off. So, I don't know.
この車が工事関係車両だと知れるとですね、散々検問で足止めを食らうばかりか、投石や鉄釘のばらまきなんかも食らうって噂です。あなたも身元が割れないようにせいぜい気をつけた方がいいですよ。
Great, so now he's gonna walk around with this ball cap and a mask all the time?
公安なんてバレたらどんな目に遭うやら。
Oishi was acting like we were talking about something fun, but for me it was no laughing matter.
なるで、どこぞの内戦の国に迷い込んだような錯覚です。
あんた、そりゃうまい言い方です。今言われたのはまさにその通り。
Oishi turned to me with a grin and menacing laugh.
ここはね、戦争地帯なんですよ。
The car slowed down a bit as it went down a narrow road through some farmland.
あそこの森の中に家があるのが見えます？古い感じの。
Looking at where Oishi was pointing, there certainly was an old traditionally designed house.
あれが村長の君吉のじいさんの家です。君吉本家とも言いますな。分家筋が多いですから、御三家の一つにあたります。
御三家、Hinimizawa村を支配している旧家ですね。
そうそう。で、もう一つが古出家。こっちは分家どころか、もう神主一家しか残ってませんがね。ちょうどあっちの方にね、神社、そこの神主をしています。ちなみにね、死守同盟の事務所はその神社の敷地内にあります。
Alright, well we're definitely then going to have a run-in, I'm sure, with Rika, if not Rika's family. And also considering that the main screen of this was, the shrine ground, so. The office of the Onigafuchi Defense Alliance. If these guys were the enemy, that would make the shrine their stronghold.
そこを見ることはできますか？
神社は古出家の私有地でね、警察といえど令状がないと踏み込めません。 電柱のバックには村の息のかかった議員もいますからね。警察にも強いところと弱いところがあるってことです。
So maybe this guy's gonna sneak onto the shrine grounds and have a run-in. See, at first it seemed like I was like, oh, it seems like they're really focusing on the Sonozaki family, but now we're talking about Rika's family here.
御三家とは言ってもですね、そりゃあだいぶ大昔のことなんだそうです。大昔はその御三家ってのが合議して村のいろいろなことを決めてたらしいですな。
ということは今は違うということですね。
あんたいちいち察しがいいですね。さすが高学歴。
The car braked to a halt with a squeal. Ahead of where we were stopped were several signs. Private property beyond, no trespassing. Beware of poisonous snakes. Danger, turn back. Intruders will be charged an entry fee of 1 million yen. Signs were erected there with things like that written on them. The road was separated from the forest by a chain-link fence wrapped in barbed wire.
私有地なんでここまでです。この先は監視カメラがいくつも仕掛けられてます。うっかり道に迷いましたなんて論法が通じる相手じゃありませんからね。
この先がそうなんですね。
The people currently controlling Hinimizawa and the Onigafuchi Defense Alliance were neither the Kimiyoshi family nor the Furude family, but the last of the three.
この先にあるのが御三家の一つ、園崎家。Hinamizawa村を影から支配する連中です。
Among the list of executives recorded in the documents, the number of people with last names from the three families was quite high. Of course, Sonozaki was no exception. However, at the top was the Kimiyoshi family. If the Kimiyoshi family seemed to be in charge, the rulers behind the scenes were the Sonozaki family. This double-layered structure implicitly told me the village had both a light and a dark side.
園崎家の頂点は現当主の園崎お涼っていうばあさんです。園崎天皇なんて呼ばれるくらいにその発言には影響力があるそうです。気をつけてくださいよ。大物です。市長だって最敬礼でお迎えするような VIP ですからね。まあHinamizawaと周辺の町に住む村の親族の数千の評伝を固めてるわけですから。
Sorry, I'm skipping again. Jeez, I'm terrible. It's a problem when you don't speak the language.
つまりその人物が鬼ヶ淵死守同盟の事実上のトップということですね。
そうなります。
With those words, Oishi pulled out a well-worn cigarette box. The suspected kidnapping of the minister's grandchild and subsequent threats. Were these part of the hidden plot by the Onigafuchi Defense Alliance in order to have the Hinimizawa Dam project cancelled?
あなた、東京からはるばる調べにいらしたんですよね。
ええ、そうですか。何か。
じゃあほら、あれだ。犬飼大臣への直訴事件の絡みですかな。要するに、あれで要注意団体ってことで公安がマークすることになったと。そういう感じですか。
大石さんこそ、お察しが早くて助かります。
While exhaling out cigarette smoke, Oishi smiled broadly like I just pulled a good one on him. Or so I thought. His smile disappeared suddenly. Oh, Oishi, I give him crap, but man, he is sharp.
嘘でしょ。
Yep, you can't get one past him.
だから、直訴事件でマークがついたっての、嘘でしょ。
Oishi knew there was no way that Tokyo HQ would dispatch an investigator over something as minor as a direct appeal. If they were to dispatch someone, it had to be for a more dire reason. He had figured out as much. I thought of myself as the type of person who didn't let things show on their face. Well, it looks like we've got another Keiichi. Maybe he's slightly better about hiding his emotions, but... In front of his watchful gaze, however, I felt that what I was thinking was completely laid bare. Oishi silently lit another cigarette, as if waiting for me to interject during this awkward pause. I see, so this was a veteran detective's way of getting someone to spill information. But as long as I realized this, there would be nothing more. If I didn't open my mouth, I wouldn't have to lose anything. He is the complete opposite of Keiichi, whereas Keiichi just like spills out everything. He just can't keep a secret. At least this guy keeps his mouth shut. All I had to do was stare out the window and enjoy the scenery until Oishi gave up.
あなたって人は本当に隠し事が下手な人ですね。そういう素直で初々しいの悪くないな。
Oishi smirked as he twisted out his third cigarette, while I tried not to let him notice that I had yielded completely. At first I thought I'd won, but at the very least Oishi had ascertained that I was hiding something. Meaning that I might have ended up marching to his tune. Oishi started up the engine once again, and began to move the car.
素直なところを教えてくれりゃもっとお力になれると思ったんですがね。
素直に話したらどう力になれるんです？
The cat was out of the bag. I might as well use it to catch some mice.
内容によりけりですがね。ひなみざわ界隈に詳しい情報屋に引き合わせてあげてもいいですよ。
協力員ですか？
そっか。あんたらはそう呼ぶんでしたね。
どうして私の任務に興味を？大石さん。
そりゃあんたと同じです。常に知るのが私たちの仕事じゃありませんか。
Being able to meet with Oishi's informant was an extremely compelling opportunity. We were looking to recruit someone familiar with the area to collaborate with for intelligence. In the end, there was no better method for finding people than asking. We were always taught, however, that the rank-and-file police were no better than monkeys. Unlike us, they were careless with confidential cases. We looked down on them like they'd run their mouth off in a drunken stupor. Oishi was an outlaw even amongst them, and here I was lost on whether or not I should tell him about the kidnapping of the minister's grandson.
その情報協力員はどの程度鬼ヶ淵自主同盟に精通を？
あんたも公安の人間ならわかるでしょう。そんなの私の口からたとえあなたにだって話せるわけないじゃありませんか。
Protect your sources. That was the first principle of dealing with confidential information. In that regard, it seemed that Oishi wasn't one of those monkeys. Should I trust him, ask for help, or not?
あなたは国、私は金に雇われてますがね。私たちの職務はそう大きくは違わないと思っています。力になれると思うんですがね。
However, I had trouble believing that this crafty old man would simply help me just like he claimed. Now, how should I go about this?
大石さんほどの方が無償で力になってくださるとはちょっと思い難いですが。
There's that funky music again.
そりゃ下心がないわけじゃないです。あんたらは確か協力員に支払える謝礼用の予算を持ってますよね。領収書不要な予算を。そいつでですね、情報屋との接触にかかるコストをちょいと。
つまり情報屋と渡りをつける謝礼をあなたにお支払いしろと。取引内容が明快で助かります。
He certainly was something else for being able to brazenly state his ulterior motive like this. Rather than him doing this out of the kindness of his heart, everything was a lot clearer if he was being compensated for this deal. I felt that he was the type of man who was good at these backroom dealings.
誤解しないでくださいよ。お金が必要なのは私にじゃなくて情報屋になんですからね。まあ支払いの関係上お金は私が預かりますがね。
支払いはいつ？
今すぐがいいですね。ないなら明日でもいいんですよ。
I pulled out a wallet that was different from my personal one. The price was pretty much fixed depending on what kind of information I was paying for. In this case, the payment was upfront. Also considering the fact I didn't know what kind of info I would get, I shouldn't pay too much. When I suggested that, Oishi suddenly stretched out his hand and tightly grasped the contents of the wallet.
こういう時はですね、ケチケチしない方がいいんです。大丈夫大丈夫、損はさせませんから。
わかりました。ケチケチしないことにします。
で、調べたい情報は何です？ 内容によって多少アプローチが変わることもありますので。
他言無用を誓ってもらえますか、大石さん。
誓うまでもありませんよ。私もあなたたちと同じ。職務上知り得たことは他言できませんからね。
And he's already got the money, so there's not much he can do about it.
わかりましたよ。ここで聞くことは他言無用です。それにあなたのおかげで溜まってたツケを全部返せるんですからね。私は少なくとも金の絡んだ約束は絶対に違いませんよ。
I was still unsure if I should trust him until the very last moment, but in the end I broke down. Oishi wasn't the type of guy I could trust 100%, but there was no mistaking he had access to underground information networks. In order to accomplish my mission swiftly, I needed his cooperation. It's funny how you can see that, like, Oishi is basically someone that you don't want to have to deal with, but sometimes you have to, and he just can't be trusted, but he's very interesting. I set my resolve.
鬼ヶ淵主導名がある事件に関与しているか否かを調査しています。
ある事件？
犬飼建設大臣が何者かに脅迫を受けている可能性があります。
可能性とはまた遠回しな言い方ですね。
大臣の近辺に内通者がいるらしいのです。その内通者によって高度に監視されているらしく、大臣は脅迫初期から屈服している様子です。警察へも我々へも。
なるほど。だから脅迫を受けている可能性という言い方になると。だとすると妙ですね。大臣が誰にも通報しないなら、どうしてあんたらは事件を知ったんです？
If we didn't spy on the minister's private life, we would have never found out.
その説明は私が情報屋に提供する必要がないと思われるので割愛します。
Oishi had apparently caught on and quietly chuckled when I refused to explain.
なるほど。大臣の近辺にスパイがいるらしいから公安だけの極秘調査ということになったわけですか。そりゃあ確かに穏便な話じゃないですね。
ことを公にすれば大臣の政治生命も含め政変に発展する可能性は極めて高いでしょう。犯人グループの目的がそこにあるならば有識事態に発展する可能性があります。
政府の列島改造はまあいろいろ方々との衝突も多いらしいですからね。どんなささやかなケチでも一つつけば野党勢力がドット票を伸ばす可能性もあると。
大臣がどのような要求を受けているのかはですが、脅迫の方法だけはほぼ分かっています。
何です？
大臣の孫の誘拐です。周辺は否定していますが、最後の目撃から見てすでに誘拐後72時間が経過していると思われます。
3日ですか。並の身代金目的ならもう決着してますね。
金銭でなく大臣に何らかの政治的なアクションを要求している可能性が極めて高いでしょう。それを我々は黙認するわけにはいきません。
で、それの犯人グループとの可能性として鬼ヶ淵死守同盟がリストに上がったわけですね。
そうです。
大臣の孫を誘拐してダム計画の撤回を求めるか。
どうでしょう、大石さん。その可能性はあなたから見てあり得ると思いますか？
Oishi seemed to ponder the idea for a while. The section chief at the regional office had responded immediately with, "It's possible." However, Oishi, who was this well-informed about the matter, was hemming and hawing. Finally, just a little bit, he said something that was really just a little bit strange.
明治前まではですね、この辺りはhinimizawa村って名前じゃなくて鬼ヶ淵村って呼ばれてたそうです。うちのばあ様の受け売りですがね。
This topic was so completely and suddenly unrelated to the subject of the kidnapping of the minister's grandson that I was slightly taken aback.
鬼ヶ淵村。それで鬼ヶ淵主導名という名称になったわけですね。
鬼ヶ淵村ってのはですね、人食い鬼の住む村だと言われてたんだそうです。今でも村人は自分の体に鬼の血が半分流れてると信じてます。
人食い鬼。大石さん、それ何の話ですか？
情報ですよ。さっきあなたからたくさんもらっちゃいましたからね。少しもらいすぎました。その分サービスしてあげてるんですよ。
I like how even Oishi called him out, being like, dude, you didn't have to give me that information. Someone's gonna be real mad if they find out that you just told me that. Oishi finally smiled, but it didn't seem like he was fooling around.
先を続けてください。
人食い鬼たちはですね、普段は仙人と崇められてひっそりと暮らしているんですがね、やっぱり人食いですから定期的に麓の村に降りてきては獲物をさらっていったんだそうです。それをですね、鬼隠しと言いまして。
Demoned away. It was the first time I'd heard such a peculiar phrase. However, I felt something slightly ominous from this horrifying tale of demons abducting people in order to eat them.
ほら、よく世間一般に神隠しっていうのがあるじゃないですか。人がある日突然失踪してしまうとそう言うでしょ。この辺りでは同じことがあると鬼隠しって呼ぶんです。
その昔話と本件に何か関係が？
いえいえ、直接的には何の関係もない、ただのおしゃべりですがね。ただ
Ka-thump, ka-thump. The car shook. At some point, the gravel road had changed to a paved one.
ただ、何です？
この土地に鬼隠しという名の失踪、誘拐を暗示するキーワードがあるということだけはお話ししておこうと思いまして。今回の大臣の孫の誘拐と関係あるかは分かりませんがね。まあ深い話ではないんです。そんな言われの話があるということだけでもね。
Onigafuchi, human-eating demons coming down to the foothills and abducting their prey. Then, in order to cancel the dam project that threatened to submerge the village they lived in, did they demon away the minister's grandson? Then, had they already made an example of the minister's grandson and eaten him alive?
ちょっと興味深い昔話ですね。
鬼たちの村にみだりに踏み入ればたちまち囚われ食い殺される。だから鬼ヶ淵村には近づくな。今時の若者はこんな迷信信じませんがね。沖宮の明治生まれの年寄り連中には今でも真面目に信じてるのが多いですよ。
Hinimizawa village was feared by the people in the area. I recalled that piece of information I heard from the Prefectural Public Safety Division.
何しろこの辺は田舎ですからね。迷信なんかが平気で幅を利かせてるんです。東京から来られた赤坂さんにはちょっと想像もつかないでしょうがね。
The man-eating demons, as the price for violating the sanctity of their village, kidnapped the minister's grandson and swallowed him whole. That ludicrous idea flew through my head. It was so absurd I was half disgusted with myself. Oishi was just teasing me. Stupid. It was all really so stupid. Come to think of it, by then I may have already been seized by the curse of the dubious village. Oh no. Implying that he's been cursed. I was like, well, we know that he at least lived 9 years after all this happened, but maybe it'll come get him later in life. For me to realize that would take a little bit more time. Well, I'm surprised with this whole thing about this guy coming in to investigate them that he didn't get demoned away. Or murdered. Oh wow, quite a few tips here.
そうですか。急な出張は大変ですね。 どうぞお気をつけて。出張はどちらへですか？もう出張先なんですか？
Whenever I headed out on assignment, she would ask where. Not just Yuki, but anybody would have asked the same question. If it was a cold place, she would urge me to pack a thick jacket. If it was far, she'd warn me to be careful on the drive over. It was just normal everyday concern that led to asking such an obvious thing. I felt sad that I couldn't answer such a run-of-the-mill question.
ごめんなさい。言ってはいけない規則でしたね。どうかお気をつけて。
すまん、ユキ。
あなたはいつの頃からすぐに謝られるようになったんでしょう。今のお仕事に疲れた最初はあれだけはつらつと充実していらっしゃったのに。
Yuki laughed as though she'd realized something. At times like this, Yuki had the magical power to see right through me.
私が入院してもう随分になりますものね。あなたもそろそろ寂しくなってきましたか？
からかうなよ。寂しがるような年じゃないさ。
さてさていかがでしょう。あなたは本当に甘えん坊さんですからね。私と一緒でないとだんだん弱気になってきてしまうのでしょ。
もう。今、ユキエの頭に小悪魔の角がにょっきりと生えているのが目に浮かぶよ。君は昔から。
はぐらかさないはぐらかさない。私に構ってもらえなくて寂しい寂しいって。あなたが尻尾を振っている音が受話器を通しても聞こえてきますよ。
This side of Yuki wasn't something you could guess existed from seeing her usual modest behavior, and it was something she didn't show to anybody else but me. Normally, I'd poke her to hide my embarrassment and bring an end to the conversation, but I couldn't do that over the phone. Of course, Yuki was clever. She was teasing me because of that.
あなたを困らせるのがこんなに楽しいと気づいたのはいつからだったでしょうね。
そろそろ許してくれよ。とにかく君の元気な声が聞けてよかった。
そうでしょう。元気になれましたか？
I had called Yuki to keep her from feeling lonely when she was by herself in the hospital room. Of course, that was nothing more than a pretense that I, being shy, had come up with. It seemed that Yuki had long since seen through that act.
また電話をしてくださいな。私がダメな時はお父さんが相手をしてくれるでしょう。もっともお父さんが相手ではあなたのことだから電話先でも直立不動で喋っていそう。
For a while longer, Yuki kept teasing me without letting me end the call. Aw, they seem so cute. I hope they will all be safe. I like them. Alright. A record of opening remarks. Chairman XX, members of the XX Party, congratulations are due as we are celebrating 25 years since our founding. These past 25 years have seen much growth in XX Prefecture. The once quiet scenery of nothing but fields now has seen the opening of a new stop for the bullet train, and with the development of the highway, we've seen the rebirth of a modern city bursting with youthful energy. We've reaped the benefits of new businesses and industry, and with the special reverence the residents of XX Prefecture have for time-honored traditions, history and culture, business and industry, with these ideals in harmony, they have accomplished in growing their city into one of Japan's foremost metropolises. Of course, the development of XX Prefecture couldn't have happened without the growth of the XX Party. We are resolved to see every one of our campaign promises to fruition, reaching our targets definitively and exponentially like arrows fired from a bow. With these arrows as the fundamental basis of the XX Party, our members have sought to pierce the obstructions preventing the happiness of the residents of XX Prefecture. But I do believe that everybody here is unlike an ordinary arrow. While being as unfaltering and straightforward, we have not neglected in seeking solutions that conform to the current day and age while also keeping an eye on the future. An arrow once loosed can only fly to its destination. Everyone here, however, is no simple arrow. Even once loosed from the bow, without neglecting our studies, while employing new methods and implementing more effective and flexible ideas, thus being able to change trajectories mid-flight, we are magical arrows. The modern age marches ever forward. Sometimes it marches faster than the time taken from planning to execution. The following part was not in the script. It is thought to have been ad-libbed by the minister. For example, there have recently been numerous problems with the Hinimizawa power plant project. Rather than forcing through the project solely because it was decided upon by the government, it is necessary to reflect on and adjust to the ever-changing needs of the residents, the region, and the next generation. Okay, so he's going off script to talk about Hinimizawa. The protests by the local residents that surround the Hinimizawa Dam. These are also the will of the people of XX Prefecture. If you feel that there is no need to listen because the project has already been finalized, then you do nothing more than shed a poor light on Japan's post-war democracy. The following is as per the script. For the lasting happiness of the citizens of Japan and the residents of XX Prefecture, please consider these policies thoroughly. I believe, however, we have all gained something from the flexibility and foresight of the XX Party. I've taken up much of your time, however, allow me to say the following to celebrate the 25th anniversary of our founding. Chairman XX, members of the XX Party in attendance, thank you very much for today. From the opening remarks of the XX Party Prefectural Forum and 25th Anniversary Celebration. Alright, so I'm just trying to kind of figure out that whole thing about the guy deviating from the script and talking about the Hinimizawa Dam project, and if it should be called off or not, if that is a hint that it is the Defense Alliance that are behind the kidnapping of the grandson. Guess we might find out later. Anyway, next will be Gears and Fire and the Taste of Honey. That's an interesting title. The world is filled with people blessed with relationships. Of course, that doesn't mean that everyone is connected to each other. It's obvious that on the other side of the planet, there are people laughing and crying who can't possibly have an effect on you. However, in the extremely limited community of the neighborhood, that sort of connection is just a matter of fact. It's quite possible that a single remarkable event could have massive consequences inside a small community. If you were to increase that in scale, a perfect stranger on the other side of the globe might just become enough of a legend to have an effect on our lives. Well, it's not always that way. Like I said at the beginning, the links between people basically aren't that relevant in the grand scheme of things. Whether some household nearby is having steak or croquettes doesn't matter to me. When I put on my shoes, it doesn't matter to anybody whether I put the right on first or the left. This much the average person can understand. But actually, in reality, this is the truth. The bonds between people are quite well defined. It's not just a matter of distance, of being far or near. For example, let's say that person A's actions have some effect on me. Even then, person B's actions could have absolutely no consequence on my life. The reverse also holds true. Just because my actions affect person A, that doesn't always mean that they affect person B as well. Let's put it bluntly. If the bonds between people are like gears in a machine, the gear that represents me meshes with some people, but is isolated from others. There are some who would try arguing against this. Those people would bring up the example of gears in a clock. Each gear indeed only directly meshes with one or two others. However, if you rotate one gear, the one next to it is moved, which connects to the next one, and the next. In the end, all the gears are moving. There's a logic behind this, more than enough to convince the average person. Why is the argument convincing? The answer is simple. The relationships between people are ambiguous and can only be described conceptually. How the gears are connected and how their movements are chained together can't be used as a fundamental explanation, so it throws a wet blanket on that argument. So, for all the people who like that explanation, I'll use the example of a clock again to refute it. First of all, to say that this world is a singular clock would be wrong. That is, there isn't only one clock. There exist many clocks in this world, each counting their own time. If you think about it, the idea that this world is just one big clock is the height of arrogance. Even if you use the analogy of gears to explain human relationships, then you should be able to explain it using an analogy of multiple clocks unrelated to a single gear. Neighbors A and B. A is a gear in the same clock as me, so it's best to remain civil. B is a gear in a different clock, so he doesn't really matter to me at all. That's the kind of clear distinction I'm talking about. You want to say I'm being fallacious? Then let's change the analogy to something more familiar so you can understand. You've probably heard the phrase, a fire on the opposite shore sometime in your life, no? I have not, actually. For example, if your neighbor's house was on fire, you'd probably try to help to put it out, wouldn't you? It'd be awful if the fire spread and burned down your own house, after all. But what if that fire was in a town on the opposite side of a river? Would you still go out of your way to help? You wouldn't, would you? Even though it would be the wrong thing to do, there's no way the fire could spread to your own house. Even if it turned into a huge conflagration, there's no relation between the houses that will spread fire to yours and those that won't. With this basic example, you should be able to see the difference between gears that are or aren't related to your own. Having said that, there's still a lot to think about, even without a river to divide it. After all, it's not a spatial problem like being on the other side of the river, is it? That's interesting. Especially, I guess, living in a big city, it's like, it's not even a matter of distance. Like, you could have neighbors that you've lived next to for years that you don't talk to or know anything about, and then there could be the person on the other side of you, and you guys are friends, and you know each other super well, so I can kind of see what they're talking about. The car had stopped, but he didn't know any more than that. For not only was he blindfolded, but locked in the trunk of the car. Oh no, this is the grandson? How could people become this powerless just by being robbed of their sight? He absolutely wouldn't have known this without experiencing it firsthand. He soon realized it was pointless to try and undo his bonds, with the confines of the trunk quickly making him lightheaded. He had no choice but to let this mild torture dull his senses. That's why when the car stopped and the unpleasant vibration ceased as the engine was killed, he couldn't help but delude himself that he was being set free, even though nothing had been resolved in reality. Of course, he was soon removed from that delusion. He strained his ears when he heard one of the men who abducted him and an older man he was hearing for the first time strike up a conversation.
お疲れさんです。ヒナはトランクに。騒ぎすぎで多少衰弱してるようですが、ご命令通り、傷一つつけちゃいません。
おう、手間はかけましたの。
The trunk opened, letting in a blast of fresh, cool air. Even though up until just now he'd been thinking about getting out of that stuffy trunk, when it was actually opened, he suddenly became uneasy. Enough so that he wished that the lid of the trunk would once again close, separating him from them. Suddenly, someone stroked his head. Of course, since he was blindfolded, he couldn't tell if the hand that was petting him, or simply evaluating how easy it would be to remove his scalp. Unable to tell the difference, he could only freeze as he imagined the worst-case scenario.
たらん、愛そうにの。震えとんね。おとなしくしばらく過ごすがよかろう。
The older man said that kindly as he gently stroked the boy's head.
ほんに辛い思いしちゃろな。だがな、おんめのおじいちゃんは優しい人だね。すぐに助けてくれるだろうの。
Having heard nothing but the average standard dialect his whole life, the older man's distinct intonation left a deep impression on the boy. But he had no idea what he was saying. For your gramps to register as meaning your grandfather took a while to process. Eventually, the hand that was stroking his head loosened the blindfold.
目隠しはまずいっすよ。面が割れると後々まずいです。
ああ、そうかの。なんら、せめて猿靴はくらい外したらんな。これぎゃ、息もできんね。
叫ばれたらまずいです。こいつのことは。
たく、気の利かんやっちゃらな。本家にむごい仕打ちは戦議やっちゃっとる。そこんとこ、肝に刻むんよ。
わかってます。手荒な真似はしませんよ。小僧がおとなしくしててくれる分にはね。
The man's hand prodded roughly and repeatedly at the boy's head. A rugged hand unlike the affectionate one that had been stroking his head before. Just stay cooperative. If you struggle, there's no guarantee what will happen. That cliched threat was literally beaten into his head. Alright, dang, okay. Alright guys, so that will do it for part 1 of chapter 4. It's a little weird, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little weird not playing as Keiichi, playing as this new guy, and not getting to see, you know, Mion and Rena and Sadako and Rika and just hanging out with them. It's a little bit of a change, it's gonna take some getting used to, also being around Oishi so much, because he really rubs me the wrong way, but I know that's what he's meant to do, so I'm interested to see how the story's gonna go, because it's just so different than what I'm used to, but I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Once again, we'll not be having an episode next Friday, but the Friday after that. So I will say right now, I hope you guys have very happy holidays, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.